do you have few questions in your mind that you need answers for these kind of questions? Or you just want to listen that what kind of questions UPSC board can ask you from you being as, from you having a PSIR as your optional. If you have few things to ask, first you can ask. Do you have few
Yes,
questions?
sir. Yes, sir. Shakti this side.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, speak.
Sir, I had question related to that only, that जो ये PSIR का जो पेपर 1 का पार्ट 1 है, the
Hmm.
main part, उससे कैसे questions like can be taken up in the interview?
पेपर
Because
वन
part 1.
पेपर वन का पार्ट ए है, उससे कैसे क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं, राइट?
हाँ, because Indian part, both of the political science and international relations, they can be asked in question, that I understand. But
Okay.
can they ask something from the world
चलो
part only?
ठीक है, very good. So first, as you have asked, your specific doubt is related to this. First, tell me, you have done your graduation in which subject, in which stream?
Biochemistry.
You are a chemistry graduate, right?
Yes, biochemistry. Yeah.
Biochemistry. So first thing, you should be clear with the basic concepts of your biochemistry too. They can ask you, rather than asking you optional, they will ask you more from your chemistry branch. Okay, that what you have learned. So do not ignore this aspect. Whatever your area of graduation is, do revise the basic concept. Like for me, I did my computer engineering and I worked with Infosys. So my interview started with a lot more things on the coding aspect. They asked a lot of things from my computer science branch about object-oriented language, about Java, about C++. So do work on your basics also. So it will be good that might be there's some chemistry graduate who will love to ask you few things from chemistry. Okay, so do not ignore this. Then for sure, all of those who do not have a background in optional political science, be ready with this question that why you opted for political science. So first question which they can ask you on pol science is why you opted for PSIR. And I hope you are ready. You should be ready to answer this question. And you should be able to justify what tempted you to take optional PSIR. Okay. How come it became your area of interest? So as I always tell, and might be you might have heard about this thing till this time that when you started your preparation, it was about content. You all have done well in mains, means you all have good compilation skills, and the last skill which now they will you need to last skill which you need to which you need last skill which you should develop to score well in interview is articulation of your thoughts. So everything now zeroed on your articulation. Might be you have thousands of thoughts in your mind and probably you will not able to articulate it properly. So work on your articulation skill. So first thing, why you opted for PSIR? Okay, if you want me to answer, let me know. Otherwise, if you are ready to answer, though why you want to join civil services, why you have opted for this service, and why you opted for this optional, this should come from inside. I'm very sure when you opted for PSIR, there was a reason you opted for that, and be true to what you thought when you decided to go for PSIR. Okay. Other thing which they can ask you from PSIR is, from a PSIR aspirant, which they do ask is, who is your favorite philosopher? This will be the second question. It's not like from everyone they will ask questions on optional. Rarely they ask questions on optional. Okay. But if they ask, first question which they ask is why you opted for this optional, and what I have seen is second question will going to be in PSIR is who is your favorite philosopher? In PubEd also it's about philosopher. In history it is not philosopher. Okay. In geography it is not philosopher. Tell me who is your favorite one?
Sir.
Bipin.
Yes, sir. I shifted my position. I can interact. So, my doubt was regarding this. Who is your favorite philosopher? Should we name philosopher from India or from Western political thought?
Anyone.
Okay,
anyone. If you are, and the thing is, do name that philosopher which you see having its contemporary relevance. This is my suggestion to you.
Okay, sir.
If you will say a philosopher who is having the contemporary relevance it will be easy for you to substantiate also that why you like this, because you see the relevance of his thoughts even in the present time. Let's
Okay.
say you said Plato. If
Yes,
they
sir.
will say why you consider Plato as why Plato is your favorite philosopher, you can say, like, if I ask what you think is the biggest threat for India at present. If you have attended my earlier lecture on IR, probably you will be able to answer this question. What do you think is the biggest threat for the internal security or for the security of India? Soumya, Shakti, what do you think is the
Sir,
biggest threat for India?
the
Vipin?
rise of ultranationalism.
The biggest threat for India is left-wing extremism, Naxalism, as said by the two prime ministers of India. And as all of you are done with your main, I hope you understand this thing. Naxalism is not a problem. It is a symptom. It is the offshoot of underdevelopment, inequalities, regional disparities. So what is the biggest threat? Underdevelopment. City of rich, city of poor. And what is the biggest reason for underdevelopment? Corruption. So for present India, which is the biggest threat? Prime Minister Modi has said multiple times, corruption. And Plato said this way back, that what led to the downfall of Athens? Corruption in the society, because the rulers are ignorant.
Yes, sir.
Wow. समझ गए?
Yes, sir.
So you can say, sir, Plato, because Plato has emphasized a lot on corruption, that what led to the downfall of Athens, corruption, and we can still see the relevance of his ideas in the present time.
Yes.
Okay. Other than this, you should be well aware of the central idea. Immediately, everything should come into your mind that what is the central idea of every philosopher. So if I ask, what is the central idea of Plato?
Sir, ideal state.
His theory of justice. Plato is known for his theory of justice. Aristotle is known for his theory of constitution. Machiavelli is known for his theory of nationalism. Okay. He's known as prophet of nationalism. Hobbes is known for absolute state. Locke is known for liberal state, life, liberty, and property. Three natural rights we are born with. Mill, known for self-regarding and other-regarding action. Okay. Marx, you all know what Marx is known for, his idea of communism. Gramsci, known for his idea of ideological domination. And Hanna is known for, what Hanna is known for?
The authoritarian state against
Civic republicanism, that he has emphasized a lot on the participation of, he has emphasized a lot that people should participate in politics, otherwise state will become totalitarian. So you can say Hanna, you can say Gramsci, ideological domination, and then you can relate Gramsci's concept of ideological domination with the present superpower, with the present soft power of US. That till date, if US is able to keep its hegemony intact, it is because of soft power, that is ideological domination.
Yes.
Okay. So second question which UPSC can ask you, the board from your optional is, who is your favorite philosopher? And then they can ask few concepts on that philosopher to you. In general, they will not going to grill you on his concepts. They will ask, who is your favorite philosopher and why? So you can finish your answer, and you should not give scope to the board to ask more on that philosopher. You can end this thing by saying, this is my favorite philosopher and this is the reason. Hanna is my favorite philosopher because she has given the concept of civic republicanism, and this impressed me a lot, that yes, what is real freedom? Participation in politics. So what is freedom according to Hanna? Participation in politics. Real freedom is political participation. And if as she said, if people will not participate, modernity has turned economic sphere more important than political sphere, it will reach to the rise of totalitarianism.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Shakti. Okay, Bipin.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what they can ask you, second question is, who is your favorite philosopher? And I don't think so. I need to tell you, as you all are done with your main, I need to tell you who is your favorite philosopher. Yes, you can ask if you have this thing in mind. As I said, the current relevance of Plato, you can ask if you do not have clarity and if you want to ask, sir, what is the current relevance of every other philosopher? And if you yourself can find, we can move to the third question. Hamsa, Soumya, sit with the webcam on. Hanji, any question? Okay, are you in a position to find the relevance of every philosopher in the present time? Why Marx is relevant? In articulate, Vipin?
Because of the inequality, which is happening.
Why Marx is relevant? Marx will remain relevant because Marxism will keep capitalism humane.
Yes.
Otherwise, capitalism will become exploitative. So what has kept capitalism humane? Marx. What is the, let's say they can say, who understood the idea of Marx better? Capitalists. Because if Marx is known as the enemy of open society, it is because of his philosophers or because of his followers. Third thing. Shakti?
Yes, sir.
Again, what you have learned from PSIR, which can help you as a better administrator. Third question. What do you think, how PSIR as a subject can help you to become a better bureaucrat?
So, in my opinion, PSIR provides a better understanding of the political setup of the country and also about its diplomatic relations. So, it actually helps us give us a holistic picture or the overall understanding of the functioning of the country, both internally as well as externally.
Very good. Okay, and it's, let's say if it is what you if I just rephrase the question, what you have learned from PSIR. Okay, two main learnings for you from this subject of PSIR. What are these two main learnings? Or the main learning, if let's say board asks, what is the main learning you have from PSIR? What is this main learning you are able to achieve from studying PSIR?
The main thing, according to my opinion, that I have understood is that be it a authoritarian state, be it a liberal state, everywhere the power ultimately has to be with the people in order to ensure a smooth functioning, because that is the reason that it basically emphasizes on importance of people's participation in order to ensure the better functioning.
Let me try to give you a better answer.
Yes, sir.
Let me try to give you a better answer. Bipin, you want to give answer? Try to articulate what main thing you have learned.
Sir, I think with the study of PSIR, I got to understand the relation between state and its subject and the various functioning organs of the state, and how there should be a smooth functioning of the government with respect to the expectations of people.
I'll give you a better answer. This is what I think. You can counter me. I'm not saying it's not like authoritarian answer for you that you have to take this. What better thing you can say if they will ask what you have learned from PSIR? Always say, sir, what the biggest learning I have from PSIR is that there is no single truth. Khatam. And concepts are open for multiple interpretations. How it sounds, Shakti and Bipin?
Philosophical?
Yes.
No, the truths are, there are no single truth. Concepts are open for multiple interpretations. This is the biggest learning, which I personally feel as I teach PSIR. What is the biggest learning for me from PSIR is there are no single truth. This subject makes us liberal. It helps us to appreciate other point of view. Shakti?
Yes.
Enough. For example, if they will say, how? You can say that, sir, there are multiple interpretations of freedom on itself. Why I'm saying? Because this is the least understood. This is the probably you are done with mains, but probably you do not have, you have never consciously thought about this. If you have already done this, well and good, because there are multiple interpretation of freedom. What idealists believe freedom is? What is freedom according to idealists? Follow state. Plato. Okay, do not defy state. Idealism. So idealists believe what is freedom? If you follow the laws or the rules made by the state, which is later used by fascist. Then liberals, utilitarian believe what is freedom? State should allow you to maximize profit. Okay. Then liberals believe what is freedom? Freedom to do whatever you want to do. For Gandhi, what is freedom? Swaraj. For Hannah, what is freedom? Participation in political affairs. For feminists, what is freedom? End of patriarchy. There are liberal feminists, radical feminists. Equality of opportunity for liberal feminists. For radical, end patriarchy is freedom. For Sartre, living a life of existence is freedom. Okay. For Rousseau, following general will is freedom. Okay. For Marx, freedom from needs is freedom. सोचा था कभी ऐसा कि फ्रीडम के इतने इंटरप्रिटेशन? आपने PSIR मेंस क्वालिफाई किया है और फ्रीडम के इतने इंटरप्रिटेशन है, इसीलिए आप ये आंसर नहीं दे पा रहे हो कि which is the biggest learning for you from studying PSIR, that concepts are open for multiple interpretations. There is no single truth. So this has widened my horizon, my worldview. I have started seeing the world from a different perspective, that there are always the other side of the picture, and we should not come to the conclusion seeing one side. We need to understand the issues from multiple sides.
Yes, sir.
Sakti? Abhi Christmas khatam hua na? So there was, I shared a message on the group that one of the students sent the message like about Santa. Okay. So when we say, what Plato will say, who can be Santa? Man of gold. Right? What Machiavelli will say, anyone becomes Santa, but Santa needs to take care of national interest. What Hobbes will say, state will decide who is Santa. Okay. What Locke will say, whosoever will become Santa can't take life, liberty, property. What Mill will say, Santa can do anything, but his actions can't be other regarding action. What Marx will say, Santa is a representative of capitalist bourgeois class. What Gramsci will say, workers needs to have their own Santa. Okay. What fascist will say, I am Santa. समझे? So concepts are open. ये नहीं आपको कहना, but you have to keep this thing in mind. What one thing which you have learned from PSIR is that concepts are open for multiple interpretation. Liberty has multiple interpretations, equality has multiple interpretations, and justice has multiple interpretation. And there cannot be one idea of justice. And this is the biggest learning. Second thing which you can say is, if they ask two things, then say, Sir, Gandhi is the way forward for world peace. This is what I have learned. All conflicts in the world, all chaos, instability, violence in the world can only be solved through non-violent means. So what I've learned is Gandhian learnings is the way forward for world peace. Otherwise, it will never be possible to have political solutions through violent means. Eye for an eye will make world blind. So, okay. So Gandhi is the way forward, and concepts are open for multiple interpretations. Samjhe, Bipin? Shakti?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you are free to answer this. So I think this is what articulation means. This comes through a bit of experience. Okay. ये थोड़ा सा आप ज्यादा जब बड़ा देखने लगते हो, so you start realizing, okay, this can be a better answer. That what you have learned from PSR, what is your learning, what you're going to bring into the bureaucracy, into the administration. By this knowledge of PSR, sir, I'll not come to the conclusion soon, because I know postmodernism, that is incredibility towards the meta narrative, and every understanding can be misunderstanding. Now, fourth thing which they can ask you from PSIR is perspective is on what is fourth wave of feminism. Are you aware of the fourth wave?
So is it LGBTQ plus rights?
Sir,
LGBTQ plus rights?
नहीं, ये fourth wave नहीं है feminism की विपिन. Which is the fourth wave? सौम्या, हमसा.
Black, right?
हाँ?
So black women.
नहीं, Me Too movement.
The
Use
digital,
of internet.
yeah, digital.
Okay.
New social media.
Social media. What is the biggest criticism of the fourth wave of feminism? That
It's
it is
woke
not,
feminism.
it is in favor of those who have it is in favor of the elitist woman.
Yes, sir.
Digital education is yet, we have not been able to, we still are far from achieving 100% literacy, and digital, what to say, education, digital education is still a far-fetched idea in India. So it is tilted in favor of whom? The elitist woman. So do read about the fourth wave of feminism, and what I have told you is the criticism. Okay?
Yes, sir.
और बताओ, कुछ और आपको पूछना हो तो. These are the 4 questions which they can ask you as you coming from the PSIR optional. So be ready why you opted for PSIR. Second, who is your favorite philosopher? If you have, I hope you have my number. If you have specific doubt, might be you were having that doubt earlier also, but you were busy with your mains and now you have qualified. Try not to go into the interview in front of the board holding any doubt about a particular philosopher. They will not ask you. Sky will not fall if you will not answer this question. But if you have any doubt and you want to sit in front of them with a lot of confidence, you can ping me and you can ask your specific doubt also later. And try to find the relevance. If whatever philosopher you will say, as I said Plato, as I said Marx, as I said Hannah, try to find the present relevance of every philosopher. Why we are studying these philosophers. Okay,
sir.
And as I said, you can the easiest way to do not fall into the trap is just name Gandhi. But there's a question mark on Gandhi, that Gandhi was a philosopher or a politician or a psychologist or a saint. Any other question you want to ask?
Sir, what would be the answer for this Gandhi? Who was Gandhi?
Gandhian thought was so wide that we cannot put Gandhi under any school of thought. This should be your answer. Sir, Gandhian thought is so wide. Gandhi has written on so many things that we cannot put Gandhi under any school of thought. Okay, na? Gandhi बहुत बड़े थे. You can become Godse by shooting one bullet, but it takes life to become Gandhi. Okay, this is the line. This is not my line. This is the line which was there in a movie. Gandhi versus Godse. ठीक है, गोडसे बनना बहुत आसान है, गांधी बनना बहुत मुश्किल है. ठीक. So you have attended my earlier lecture of IR or not? Tell me.
Sir, I have not attended.
हाँ, तो ठीक है, फिर मुझे वो बात बताना पड़ेगा. You have not attended. You can listen that rather than me repeating the things again. Do watch the first 20 minutes in which I have discussed the quadrant. That what kind of answers you need to give in front of the board. This is very important for you. that
Okay, sir.
what should be your approach to what you need to keep in mind when they will ask you things based they will ask opinion based questions. And as an aspirant of UPSC having PSIR background, if they ask you what is the most biggest threat, do say left-wing extremism, because it has been said by the two prime ministers of India. And the genesis of this lies in corruption. So what becomes the biggest threat? Corruption. You holding the notion terrorism is the biggest threat means you are holding wrong notion. What is the source of your information? How you concluded? Yes, terrorism is also a threat, but it is not the biggest threat. And let's say if they ask why terrorism is one of the major security threat for India, in your opinion, what you will say? Why you consider terrorism as one of the major security threat for us? Articulate.
So may I try?
Sure. Go ahead, please.
So because it brings in a possibility of a two-front war, and given the two China and Pakistan borders that is very close, and the involvement of nuclear weapons as well, I believe that is why terrorism is such a huge threat. And even historically, terrorism has caused wars.
You come very close to giving to this is a very you have framed it almost properly. Okay. Now, if you have said it has its economic costs, it has its economic costs. We always have to be on toes to prevent the terrorist attack. Then it becomes terrorism is a threat for all in general. We are saying specifically why terrorism is one of the most potent security threat for India, because this issue has the potential to escalate a full-fledged nuclear war in this region. This is why terrorism is one of the most potent security threat for this region. Do say this because terrorism backed by Pakistan, and multiple times we have seen an act of terror brought the two states on the brink of the full-fledged war. For example, after 2001 Parliament attack, full-scale military mobilization from our side. After 2008 Mumbai attack, military mobilization from our side. After Uri, we went for surgical strike. After Pulwama, we went for Balakot airstrike and retaliation from the state of Pakistan. So terrorists, violent non-state actors in the region has the potential to escalate a military conflict between the two nuclear armed states. This should be your answer. ठीक है ना, तो बिल्कुल क्लियर बैठना है बोर्ड के सामने. Why terrorism is the major threat? Because sir, this can bring two arch rivals into a direct military conflict, and both are nuclear armed. Both are nuclear armed. Okay, this is why terrorism is the most potent threat.
Sir, the previous lecture you were talking about, from where can we access that?
YouTube.
YouTube.
Okay, in that there is a quadrant approach which I have discussed, and this will help you a lot to frame answers whenever the questions will be comment based. Let's say if I ask you comment-based questions like, what is your opinion on this? What is your opinion on this? So what first thought should come to your mind? Okay, that your answer you need to give answer under which framework? Let's say if I ask, is it possible, Soumya, to attain the objective of nuke-free world?
So no, because
No. Okay. Okay.
so because according to the realist school of thought, it
Okay.
acts as a deterrent,
Okay.
and considering treaties like NPT,
Okay.
which haven't been
Okay. In general, you are saying it's not possible to attain the objective of nuke-free world, right? Hamsa, do you think it will be possible for UN to end the issue of terrorism? Will be possible to end terrorism in the world?
So although it sounds far-fetched for now, I think in the long run, working together under the UN, it is possible, sir.
Okay. Will be possible to deal with terrorism? Will be possible to
Yes,
end
sir.
terrorism? Okay. Bipin, do you think it will be possible to have a world free of all military conflicts and wars?
Yes, sir. Sir, I believe it is possible, when we all keep aside our narrow ambitions, and when we take whole world as a Indian concept of Vasudev Kutumbakam.
Kutumbakam. So
Yes, sir.
India can show the path for world
Yes, sir.
peace.
Yes, sir.
बिल्कुल सही बात है कि India can show the path for world peace. ठीक है ना? So
Yes,
it
sir.
is something like this, Soumya. If board is asking you, do you think you will be able to get into services? What you will say in front of the board?
Yes.
Yes. वहाँ yes कहोगे, है ना? So do you think it will be possible for India to have a permanent membership in UN? Yes. Will India able to become superpower? Yes. Will India able to become $5 trillion economy? Yes. Yes ही कहोगे ना? How you
Yes.
wrote your conclusions in main? With lot of optimism or pessimism?
So optimism.
Optimism. ठीक है ना? तो जब भी एग्जाम आंसर देना है, कमेंट pragmatic रहना है. You have to be pragmatic, not to be utopian, but try to be as optimist as you can. You have to be on the right side of the quadrant. Optimism, pessimism. You can't afford to be pessimist. So when we are saying interview is a test of personality, which aspect of your personality they are exploring is what kind of personality you are, and personality should reflect your optimism. There are two types of individuals: satisfied optimist, dissatisfied optimist. In general, UPSC aspirants comes in this category, dissatisfied optimist. They are not satisfied with many things and they want to bring change in the world. You are not satisfied with anything and you think change is also not possible. Do you think you are a right personality for bureaucracy? Nahi na? If I'll ask, will you able to reduce crime rate in your district?
Yes.
कर पाओगे ना? You will able to implement the schemes of the government in a better way. Yes, है ना? आप better करोगे तभी तो सोच रहे हो ना, और आप dissatisfied हो present system से. Like India is not satisfied with UN, but what is the stand? Give us permanent membership, we'll make it inclusive and democratic.
Yes.
Satisfied optimists are progressive individuals. ये progressive होते हैं. So what you should reflect, what answers of yours should reflect in front of the board? You are a progressive personality who have a vision about the future, who thinks better world is possible and world will be a better place to live. India will be a better place to live. If I ask you to write an essay on the problems in India, all of you can write 1600 words on that, the problems we have. We are not interested to know problems now. In interview stage, we know that you know the problem. Now we are interested to know what solution you can give. So you are dissatisfied optimist, you are radical individual, so radical personality, welcome in bureaucracy. Okay, so you have to be on the right side in those 30 minutes. Revolutions led by whom? Radical. दुनिया में सारे revolutions radical लोग लेके आते हैं. Philosophers radical होते हैं. Philosophers are radical. Let's say board asks you, who is extremist? ये पूछ सकते हैं आपसे. Who is extremist? Tell me. Define extremist. You have this. You are done with mains. You have probably you have written on left-wing extremism. Who is extremist?
Sir, the people who seek extreme solutions and which might be violent, going for the revolution.
Extreme. How you will decide what is extreme?
So the excess of any ideology, I may say.
Excess. How you will decide what is excess?
So
Your excess is others normal. You are a vegetarian, non-vegetarian?
Non-vegetarian, sir.
You eat beef?
No, sir, never tried.
You think you those who eat beef, that is extremism?
Not me, in my opinion.
Because you are liberal. But for a conservative, eating beef is extremism or not?
Yes, sir, it is.
So who decides what is extremism? Let's say business runs in a family and someone wants to become musician. So how family will see that individual? Extremist. Extremist in his or her opinion. Probably you all are also seen as extremists within your society and within your family. You know, in general, UPSC aspirants are extremists. Who are extremists? Extremists are those who challenge the established norms and values of the society. All social reformers are extremists. all social reformers are radical. Okay. भूल गए history. Moderates, extremists नहीं पढ़ा बाल लाल पाल.
Yes, sir.
Moderates were extremists of their time. Okay, so moderates were extremists of their time, and that is what differentiate between a terrorist and a reformer. Reformers also have a belief on one value system. They want to propagate that belief through non-violence means, and terrorists are propagating their value system through violent means. This thin line difference between a reformer and a terrorist, and all reformers are extremists. Raja Ram Mohan Roy भी extremist थे, विवेकानंद भी extremist थे, गांधी भी political extremist थे, आप भी political extremist हो. We all are extremists. अगर हम extremist नहीं होते तो हम ये कर ही नहीं रहे होते. Right? So extremists are soul of democracy, and extremists keep society vibrant. And एक बहुत बढ़िया लाइन होती है, extremism is the highest form of patriotism. If you will not raise voice and protest against the injustice, against the wrong, then totalitarian state will emerge. So we need extremists. Violent extremism is terrorism, left-wing extremism. So who is extremist? Those who are against the set patterns, norms, and beliefs.
Sir, we don't have to appear radical in the interview, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to appear radical.
Why
in
not?
the
You can be. Let's say they are saying they'll ask you comment on something, and you are saying, I'm not dissatisfied with that. But I think we should have done like this. Then it becomes what? You are radical. Criticizing something is not bad, but you should come up with a solution. Now, you are criticizing something. You are satisfied with something, and you are pessimist. There is no scope for future. As I asked from me, a new free world is possible. Saying no is pessimism. Already बहुत कर लिया, NPT बना ली है, बस बहुत है. IFS ऑफिसर बन के गवर्नमेंट कहेगी तो मैं NPT की मीटिंग्स में चली जाऊंगी. न्यू फ्री वर्ल्ड पॉसिबल नहीं है. कश्मीर इशू सॉल्व हो सकता है? अरे कहाँ कश्मीर इशू सॉल्व होगा? 70 साल में नहीं हुआ सर. मैं कहाँ से कर लूंगी बेचारी? हाँ, कैसी बातें कर रहे हो? ठीक. I will attend all the meetings. I will go and sip coffee, the best of the coffees. I'll go to the UN. Will go for negotiations and discussions on new free world. But conviction is it is not possible. You are conservative. Old age होती है conservative. What kind of personality you are? Conservative personality. With time. That's why we associate old age with what? Conservative. जो घर में दादी नानी होती हैं वो क्या कहती हैं? अरे कुछ नहीं हो सकता तुम्हारा. तो हम कहते हैं ना, अरे आप your time is over. This is different between biological age and mental age. Biologically, someone is old, mentally progressive. Biologically young, mentally conservative. And that's why we need more progressive in society. We need progressive radical bureaucrats and politicians. And dissatisfied pessimists, ये regressive होते हैं. ये कुछ नहीं करते. They protest. ये एक ही काम करते हैं, protest आपके ऑफिस के बाहर आके protest करेंगे. They are dissatisfied also and they are pessimist also. They are not ready to take responsibility. You will try to change the status quo, they will protest. And to these people only, PM Modi said, Andolan Jeevi. You know, they are only surviving on protest, and extreme regressive becomes terrorist. Those who are dissatisfied, pessimist, and take the path of violence becomes terrorist, extreme regressive. This is what we say, personality aspect of your interview. That when you have to comment, keep this thing in mind, that your comment should fall into the right side of the quad. ठीक है ना? ये बात ध्यान रखना, अपने आंसर्स को ऐसे आर्टिकुलेट करना है कि मेरा जो आंसर आए वो राइट साइड ऑफ क्वाड्रेंट में आए. ईदर आई शुड साउंड प्रोग्रेसिव और आई शुड साउंड रेडिकल, नॉट कंजर्वेटिव एंड शुड नॉट रिग्रेसिव. रिग्रेसिव कुछ लोग साउंड कराते हैं, they get less than 90 marks. UPSC makes sure, board makes sure they should not able to enter into the services, even if they have very high marks in mains, but they should not able to secure a position of importance, IAS, IPS, All India service. ठीक है ना? क्योंकि अभी वो पर्सनैलिटी से रेडी नहीं है. They hold which kind of views? Regressive view. We don't need regressive. ठीक है? So this has nothing to do with PSIR. It was in general, and the questions which they can ask you: why you opted for PSIR, what you have learned from PSIR, who is your favorite philosopher, important concept of that philosopher, the present relevance of that philosopher in the present time, the fourth wave of feminism, and multiple interpretations of concepts. You should be ready to answer multiple interpretation of equality, multiple interpretation of liberty, multiple interpretation of freedom, and multiple interpretation of justice. Okay, what is the most you all have read Rawls' theory of justice, and Rawls' theory of justice is seen as the most contemporary idea of justice. And affirmative action in India, reservation, is an endeavor to ensure justice or to create a just state. Okay, if I ask you, our endeavor is to create a liberal state or a just state, what you will say?
Just it.
If you read preamble, what comes first? Justice, liberty, equality. So the most important focus is on justice. Even if we have to curtail liberties of few, we need to ensure justice. So we as a state aspired not to create a meritorious society. We aspired to create a just society. Relevance of Aristotle: injustice is the reasons for revolutions world over. Okay, this is the relevance of Aristotle. Now, 4 questions, okay, now 5th question from PSIR. Who is philosopher? बताओ, who is philosopher? कैसे डिफाइन करोगे फिलोसफर कौन होता है? Articulate who is philosopher.
Sir, philosopher is someone who proposes a new idea or adds to the existing idea in a different way, and which has the potential to change the direction of the society.
बस इतना नहीं. But who is philosopher? अच्छा, what is philosophy?
Philosophy is the study of the ideas, which
Study
is
of ideas. How you differentiate philosophy from ideology?
sir, ideology is a part of philosophy. Ideology is mainly concerned with the political ideas.
नहीं,
But
ऐसे नहीं
philosophy
बोलना,
can-
ऐसे नहीं बोलना, ऐसे नहीं बोलना, ठीक है? Now, what is ideology? लिखो, politically motivated idea is ideology. Idea with the objective to acquire power is ideology. सीधा सीधा, politically motivated idea or idea with the objective to acquire power is ideology. Okay, when you are giving idea, detached idea is philosophy. Idea with no objective to acquire power is philosophy. So those who give idea, they just give idea without aspiring to have power, are philosophers. Those who give ideas with the objective to acquire power, they are ideologues. Okay, they are ideologues. And that's why isms becomes ideology. Ism becomes ideology. But there is always a question mark whether Plato was a philosopher or ideologue, because ये main interview में नहीं बोलना, आपको पता ही है ये बात. There are scholars who have dedicated their life studying the work of philosophers. And one of the scholars criticized Plato that Plato himself was aspiring to become philosopher king. And if Plato himself aspiring to become philosopher king, this will make Plato into what? Ideologue. Okay? But in general, what is ideology? Politically motivated idea. Idea with the objective to acquire power is ideology. Okay, detached idea is philosophy. Okay, na? Detachment is the key of philosophy. What is theory? Systematic explanation of idea is theory. What is theory? systematic explanation of idea is theory. So when you are giving idea and explaining that idea, what you are giving? Theory. Theory of justice, theory of constitution, theory of absolute state, theory of communism, explanation of idea. If you are explaining that idea with the aspiration to acquire power, this becomes ideology. And who said every idea is given to acquire power? Who said this? Who said every idea is with the objective to acquire power? Knowledge power connection. Nietzsche?
Foucault.
नहीं, Nietzsche. Foucault तो use किया था ना? Knowledge power connection. Every idea is given with the aspiration to acquire power. Just okay, knowledge power connection. Every idea is given with the objective to acquire power. No knowledge is free from power. Knowledge power. All knowledge is created with the objective to acquire power. There is no knowledge which is free with the aspiration to acquire power. Aspiration for power is more than aspiration of life. ये आपने पढ़ी होगी सारी बात, ठीक है ना? Knowledge power connection. So philosophy is idea, politically motivated idea, ideology, and theory is explanation of idea. ठीक है ना? तो गांधी को हम philosopher मानते हैं, but those who started using Gandhian ideas to acquire power, they turned Gandhi into Gandhism. Marxist philosopher, those who started using Marxist ideas to acquire power, they turned Marx into ideology, Marxism. समझे? Now, another next question from PSIR optional is, what are the two central concepts in the subject of PSIR? What are the two central concepts of PSIR? Tell me.
So power and justice.
Power and state. So
State.
first central concept is state and second concept is power. These are the two central concepts of your subject of PSIR. ठीक है ना? Political science begins and ends with the state, government. And another concept is power. Now, if let's say board will ask you, you as an aspirant of UPSC having PSIR optional, board is asking you why you are aspiring to join services. Have you prepared your answer for this question? Are you ready with the answer for this question? Why you are preparing for, why you want to join civil services? Soumya, ready with the answer question ke liye? And do say this thing multiple times in front of the mirror so that it should seem as if it is directly coming from inside. Whatever you will say, whatever you have prepared, you will going to practice it in front of the mock panel. Let's say if you are saying something, something, something. Okay, tell me. You tell me. Soumya, what is the reason why you want to join services?
I want to join the services in order to get power.
In order to get power. Acha. So you have power?
Power to empower the other people.
Okay. Where you have learned this phrase?
So I have heard in your class, maybe.
You attended my IR earlier.
So I was in batch.
You were in?
2020 RAU'S IAS batch.
GS. GS or PSIR?
G.
So those who are not aware of this, do not shy away. If they will say, let's say you have said something and board is saying, okay, so you are not aspiring for power. So do accept, yes, sir, it will give me power. So do not shy away from accepting that, yes, you are aspiring for power. The second question they will ask you, what you will do with power. So first thing, there is nothing wrong in aspiring for power. Even knowledge power connection said by Foucault. Everyone aspires for power. India is aspiring to become superpower. India is aspiring for permanent membership in UN. So India is aspiring for power. So there is nothing harm. There is nothing wrong if aspiration is power. Gandhi, remember, Gandhi means are more important. Legitimate means you are using to acquire power, and no one can stop you from doing that. Now the question is what you will do with power. Always say, sir, empower. You cannot empower anyone without you being in power. This is the thing which you have learned from PSIR also, that power is to empower others. Okay. First, you can only empower someone if you are in power. And one of the central concept of this subject is power. Okay, na? Another thing they can ask you, define soft power. I hope you're in a position to define what soft power is. Tell me, define soft power. Radio articulation soft power. What is soft power? What is soft power?
The power through cultural means, through cultural and ideological means, like language, music.
You come to the direct question to language. What is soft power? Define soft power.
Power
First,
of
define what is
attraction.
power.
May I try?
Hamsa, first define what is power.
So I wanted to answer for what is soft power, sir.
First answer
But,
what is power.
Power, sir,
Power is
okay.
the ability to influence
Power is
another's
the ability to
decisions.
influence. Perfect. And define soft power.
So soft power is any power that is not military or economic, if I had to define it. I could be wrong, but
That is not.
Well, we can add it into the normal definition of power, that soft power is an ability to influence the views and decisions of others through the promotion of our culture and tradition.
So soft power is power of attraction.
Power
Like-
of attraction. Yeah, सीधा कहो sir, power of coercion is hard power. Soft power is the power of attraction. देखो वहां नहीं याद आता, इसलिए कह रहा हूँ इन पे वर्क करो, इन पे है ना, पूरे एक नोट रेडी करो, ये याद करके जाना है, ठीक है. सॉफ्ट पावर इज द पावर ऑफ अट्रैक्शन. ओके. Now there can be resources of soft power, culture, language, foreign policy, then what to say, sports, movies, music, yoga, all are soft power. How we can further increase our soft power in the world? Answer this.
Through diaspora.
डायस्पोरा क्या मतलब, और लोगों को भेज दें कनाडा? ऐसी बातें नहीं करनी है. You should not talk loosely. ऐसे नहीं, थ्रू डायस्पोरा. तो कैसे डायस्पोरा, कैसे मतलब पॉपुलेशन बढ़ाएं? हम पॉपुलेशन कम करने की सोच रहे हैं, पॉपुलेशन बढ़ा के कहाँ उन्हें बाहर भेज दें? Let's send them, as Modi is saying, rather than brain drain, it is more about brain gain now. So diaspora is important. If they ask why diaspora is important, do use this phrase, sir. It is now brain gain rather than brain drain. So we are not seeing it in terms of drain. Anyways, how to further enhance our soft power? Actually, in recent times, India has been seen. India's soft power has increased in the world. What has increased our soft power? मान लो ये क्वेश्चन आ गया. India's soft power has increased in the world. What has increased India's soft power?
so perhaps increased hard power along with other factors such as.
हमने पूछा ही नहीं. हमने पूछा in present times India's soft power has increased. What has increased India's soft power? One of the very important resource of soft power is what? ये अपने पास रख लो, क्लिक लेके. क्या है? इनोवेशन. इंडिया इज नोन एज द फार्मा हब. हमने किसने वैक्सीन दिए दुनिया को? हमने. Only few countries are able to have vaccine of COVID. This has increased India's soft power. India seen as the pharma hub. So what can increase India's soft power, sir? Innovation. And who will going to increase India's soft power, sir? Entrepreneurship. What is the way out to? So ये पूछ सकते हैं आपसे as a aspirant of as a PSIR option student. Who can make India superpower? Sir, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is the way forward for India to become a $5 trillion economy. Who are entrepreneurs? Define entrepreneurs or define entrepreneurship. As I said, who can make India superpower? Who can increase India's soft power? Who can make India $5 trillion economy? आपने बोल दिया entrepreneurship. Who are entrepreneurs? What is entrepreneurship?
People who solve problems through ideas and solutions.
नहीं, हमसा लिखो ability to generate new ideas in the economic system. So who will bring new ideas in the economic system? Entrepreneurs. This was the reason for the failure of socialist economy in the world, because socialism killed down incentives to work hard. And this led to the success of capitalism because capitalism promotes entrepreneurship. So what is entrepreneurship? Ability to generate a new idea. So who can generate new ideas? Entrepreneur. अब the moment आपने ये कहा, अगर मैं board member होता तो जरूर पूछता, what is the biggest threat for India? Corruption. Who has done corruption? Bureaucrats. Who will make India superpower? Entrepreneurs. Why you are not aspiring for entrepreneurship? Why you are aspiring for bureaucracy?
Sir, I believe bureaucrats are the biggest entrepreneur, but
You don't
not
believe,
with the
don't
motive
say,
of profit,
don't say
but
this.
in the field of
Don't
social
say,
upliftment.
don't say this. Do say, sir, I'm aspiring for bureaucratic entrepreneurship. Who said entrepreneurs can be only economic entrepreneurs? We can have political, bureaucratic, and we need political, bureaucratic, and economic entrepreneurship to make India the superpower. And you think you have more of you are more suited for bureaucratic entrepreneurship rather than economic entrepreneurship. You will facilitate economic entrepreneurship.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है ना? तो बहुत सारे bureaucrats बनते हैं, हर साल बनते हैं.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है ना? Only few will get Indian of the Year award from the field of public administration. किसको मिलता है? The one who will bring entrepreneurship in bureaucracy. And that is why not everyone is fit for every job. You need to have motivation and passion for that job. Only then you will bring something new in that and will work out of the box. वो तभी possible है. ठीक है? So you should say you are already aspiring for bureaucratic entrepreneurship. So who will increase India's soft power? Entrepreneurs. Yeah. So is India aspiring to become a
Yes, sir.
soft power or smart power? Let's say the question is this. Is India aspiring to become soft power or smart power? What is smart power? Who is smart power? देखो smart power कौन होता है? I guess Hillary
Balance.
Clinton, she used the phrase smart power. Combination of hard and soft power is smart power. And India is not only aspiring for smart power, India is also aspiring for fast power. MEA, fast track diplomacy, is a step in the direction to become what? Fast power. Okay. Future will be of those who will be able to decide quickly. So you should be ready with the answer of soft power, smart power, and fast power. MEA's fast track diplomacy is India's
Yes, sir.
aspiration to become a fast power. Now, related to this only, a question which has been already asked by UPSC in mains last year, which can be asked by UPSC, board members also. Why US consider China as the biggest threat, much bigger than the Soviet? As this has been accepted itself by the US government in a recently released official document, which has been released by the US government, that US government has accepted US has never encountered such a threat ever, and the biggest threat which US has ever encountered is coming from China. Why so? Why US consider China as the biggest threat?
Because China has been using both its hard and soft power very aggressively and assertively.
See, just say, sir, because China is not a socialist economy and China is a capitalist economy and Soviet was a socialist economy. So a communist China with a capitalist economy is seen as one of the biggest threats by US, that China will be able to change the economic order. And if China will able to change the economic order, China will able to establish itself as the world superpower. Soviet was a socialist economy and US was well aware socialism is bound to fail. But China is not a socialist economy, but a capitalist economy with a communist state, authoritarian, where the leaders do not have to justify their decisions to the people. Okay. So a communist state with a capitalist economy is seen as the biggest threat by US. The reason why, they can ask you why US has not intervened directly in Russia-Ukraine war, but US has openly stated that US will intervene if China will try to change the status quo of Taiwan, that is ROC, because the semiconductor industry of Taiwan will be in the hands of communist China. And US is dependent on semiconductors. So if politically PRC is able to have a control over ROC, PRC will be able to change the dynamics of world economics. The reason why US has clearly stated will not allow China to take political control over ROC through force, and US will intervene militarily. This has been stated, officially stated by US President Biden. Okay? So you can say these things. Right? So soft power, smart power. Then I'm sure all of you can answer this question. Why political science is called science? ये तो आंसर कर लोगे? इस सब्जेक्ट को साइंस क्या कहते हैं? और वो ये भी पूछ सकते हैं आपसे, एक सेकेंड, वो ये भी पूछ सकते हैं, what differentiates science from humanity? How you will answer? Articulate. What differentiates science from humanity? बोलो.
While science basically deals with observable facts and data, and based on that, the decisions or results have been made. While in humanities, they are also based on certain philosophies and ideologies that are basically shaping the thoughts and processes of the people. So,
okay, I'll give you a better answer. In humanities, we have theories. In science, we have laws. Okay, so plate tectonic theory, क्या ना? थ्योरी है ज्योग्राफी में, ह्यूमैनिटीज है, साइकोलॉजी में थ्योरीज हैं, आपके सब्जेक्ट में थ्योरीज हैं, ठीक है. लॉज कहाँ है? एक ही लॉ है. ओके, विच इज द ओनली लॉ विच एग्जिस्ट इन पॉलिटिकल साइंस? ये तो अच्छा याद आया, मुझे बोलना है, ये तो पूछा हुआ है मुझसे खुद. विच इज द ओनली लॉ विच एग्जिस्ट इन द सब्जेक्ट ऑफ पॉलिटिकल साइंस? डोंट टेल मी यू कांट आंसर. अभी मेंस खत्म हुए, इतना भी टाइम नहीं हुआ है. Which is the only law which exists in political science? Iron law of oligarchy. Power always remain in the hands of elites. This is the only law which prevails in the subject of political science. Otherwise, we only have theories. Then in science, we have laws. Physics, chemistry, bio में law होते हैं. Anatomy of heart is same. Newton law, same. So laws होते हैं उसमें. So then why this subject is called science when there are only theories and not laws? Theories do change in time and space. Why this subject is science? Because the endeavor is to go for systematic study. As we are going for systematic study of facts, that is why this subject is called as science. Okay? It is not science in traditional sense. It is science because the endeavor is to think, study empirically. Systematic study of the things, because we are going for systematic study of things, that's why we use word science. Okay.
Yes.
One question. This is, I think, I guess, explored by Amritya Sen also, which you can answer in the terminology of the subject of PSIR, that China has grown rapidly. Now the two statesmen in the world, one is Mao and one is Gandhi. And China and the society of China is seen as the outcome of the vision of Mao. And India and Indian society is seen as the outcome of vision of Gandhi. Out of two, who is doing better? What you say? As China has been able to bring millions of people out of poverty, who is doing better in terms of HDI?
India, sir. Because of the constitutional and democratic credentials we
Because
have
of political
regarding
freedom. Because of
justice.
political freedom.
Yes,
There's
sir.
a political modernization approach, right? Though few can say it is the Western narrative,
Yes, sir.
but though fine, economically, probably the communist China is able to do better, but considering the liberties people of India have, India is doing better than China, and China is on the China is China is under pressure cooker syndrome. The day economic hardships will increase in China, probably you will see political protest within China, because people do not have political
Yes, sir.
liberties, and it's a wrong assumption to assume that people only aspire for economic prosperity and people do not need political freedom.
Yes, sir.
एक point
So
और
can
से
we
मैं
cite the
पूछता हूँ,
example of
एक point
protest which were
umbrella revolution, Hong Kong.
Yes, sir.
You can say
Sir,
that.
no, sir, zero COVID policy at that
Zero
time people
COVID.
were
Yes,
having
yes,
those
yes, you can say that.
protests.
एक और question लिखो. On what grounds we can say that India is not emerging? That India is not emerging. India has already emerged in world politics. India is not emerging. India has already emerged on the world politics. So what do you think you will say?
Sir, India has successfully raised the voice of global South and the yes.
Growing India's presence in multilateral institutions like UN, WTO, etc., and also in the geostrategic locations like Indo-Pacific specifically. So in these, we can see India's as rising assertiveness and influence in the region.
Okay. Anything else?
Sir, India can be seen as a balancer between the Western world and the communist world in their rivalry, and India has successfully able to keep the voice of the third world, and we have even leading the demands of the third world, and we are successfully able to present their viewpoint at all the multilateral platforms, such as UN, WTO, even UNFCCC.
Okay. On what grounds we can say India is not emerging? India has already emerged in the world politics is, do give these examples, which I guess will be better. India is the only country in the world who got the waiver from NSG despite not signatory to NPT. India is,
Yes, sir.
okay, India is getting the support from 4 out of 5 permanent members for the permanent membership in UNSC. India is one of the strongest contender for permanent membership in UNSC. Okay. The world leadership from both West and Russia came to India to take a stand on the issue of Ukraine war. Okay. Invitation to India in OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries. Presence of India on almost all the important institutions and platforms. And invitation to India in G7 reflects India's increased stature in world politics. Then write a question. Is there the positive impact of Act East on Northeast? We initiated Act East in 14. Yes, there is. Okay, our India started investing heavily. Name few projects which we are doing since 14 onwards, things which we are doing in Northeast. So India has increased its investments in the region, and India has signed a lot of peace accords with violent insurgent groups of Northeast. Okay, you can name few 14 onwards. So yes, it has a positive impact. Okay, what is double veto in UN? I hope you are aware. So be ready to answer the question, what is double veto in UN? Then, what is the biggest challenge for India's CCAP policy? Connect Central Asia policy. What do you think is the biggest challenge at present for India's CCAP?
China's growing influence in the
नहीं
region.
नहीं ये नहीं कहना है. India's connectivity. As since the withdrawal of US, Taliban has made a comeback. So whether India will able to improve its ties with Taliban or not, this is the challenge. Because Look North policy failed way back in 95. Do say LNP failed because India failed to normalize its ties with Taliban. And again, since the withdrawal of US, Taliban has took over power in Afghanistan. So whether India will able to improve its ties with Taliban or not, that we have to see. But this time dynamics has changed because now there is TTP in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Last time there was no TTP. So what is the biggest challenge in front of CCAP? Connectivity to Central Asia. And as Taliban has acquired power again, whether we'll able to reach out to Afghan Taliban or not, that we have to see. Okay. So biggest challenge is right now, whether we'll able to improve our ties with Taliban or not. Then, what are the reasons for political violence and instability in West Asia? What are the reasons for political violence and instability in West Asia? And simultaneously, they can ask, what is the most important aspect of India's LWP? These two questions they can ask considering Israel-Hamas war is going on. So what are the main reasons for violence in the region? Tell me. And what is the most important aspect, according to you, the most important aspect of India's LWP? How you think, what is the most important aspect? The way we are engaging with the countries of West Asia.
Sir, the reason for violence and political stability in West Asia first can be the presence of the dominant powers in the region, like interference by US, Russia, China, India, etc. Second is presence of different religious groups there, Jews, then we have Muslims, and that too, in that we have sects, different sects in Islam. So one could be this. Then there's also historical reason, because of the historical reason, like the Israel-Palestine conflict, dates back to 1950s and
Shakti,
even before that.
reasons में जब भी कहना हो ना, main two reasons को, sir, sectarian violence, that is religious rift, Shias and Sunni. Islam is the religion, and within this religion we have two sects, So first reason for violence is sectarian violence. Second is ethnic violence. That is between Arabs and non-Arabs. I hope you understand. Who are non-Arabs here? Kurds and Jews. So first is sectarian violence. Second is ethnic violence. Right? Genocide of Kurds by whom? Saddam Hussein, Arab. Program of Arabization. I hope you know everything. Okay. I'm telling you in short, believing you know and you understand everything. So sectarian, Saudi, Iran conflict is seen as more of what? Sectarian violence. Shia Sunni rift, aspiration to project themselves as the leader of Shia and the Sunni world. Second is Arab, non-Arabs. Third, aspirations of US, West, and Russia in the region need military bases. And what is the most important aspect of India's LWP? India is trying to be neutral. We don't take sides. So the most important aspect of India's foreign policy is India do not interfere in their internal affairs. India is neutral towards all the important groups and the players of West Asia. India is politically neutral. We don't take sides. Then one more question. I'm sure you are aware of this, that what is hyphenation, what is dehyphenation? And India pursuing the policy of hyphenation towards Palestine till 90s. And then India dehyphenated its foreign policy towards Israel and Palestine. Can we say at present, India is hyphenating towards Israel? What do you think? In your opinion, can we say India is hyphenating towards Israel? Hyphenation means showing preference for one over other. Right? How you will say no? Because when India voted in favor of Israel against the resolution that Israel should not be criticized for its military action in Gaza, at that time India said because UN has failed to criticize terrorism. But again, when this resolution has brought for excessive violence by Israel, we voted in favor of that resolution. So within a gap of few months, we have taken stand in favor of Israel against Israel. Second thing, we still support the independence of Palestine. We stood for two-state solution. We have not changed our stand on that. We still consider settlements of Jews in West Bank are illegal, and we still consider Golan Heights is a disputed issue. So nowhere India is pursuing hyphenation. India is pursuing dehyphenation. ठीक है ना? So be ready to answer this question. ये पूछेंगे ही बिल्कुल किसी से. Okay. Then,
Sir, I have a doubt.
Anji, go ahead.
Sir, do Israel believe in two-state solution or not?
Yeah, ये आपसे नहीं. Israel believe in this or not? Because now, Israel do believe or not? It seems as if they are not interested in two-state at present. It seems. And since there is a rise of right wing, and right wing is more assertive.
Yes, sir.
And there are domestic considerations. Okay. For the right wingers right now to project themselves as more assertive on the issue of national security. Okay. Another thing which they can ask you is why Kashmir issue has not been solved. What you will say? Why this issue has not been solved? Or where lies the solution of Kashmir issue? Will it be possible to solve it ever, Soumya?
Yes, sir.
मैं ही करूंगी solve, ठीक है? आप ही करोगे in future, ठीक है? You have to show this conviction and this. So where lies the solution? Right? Always says the solution lies on the other side of the border. Because India has already done enough. to show its sincerity for the peace process. ठीक है? Why पहला सुनो, why Kashmir issue has not been solved? Do say because democracy is not vibrant in Pakistan. In plain simple words, where lies the solution of Kashmir? Sir, stable, vibrant democracy in Pakistan. Okay, what we have done to show our sincerity for the peace process? You should be ready with the point, sir. It was we who took the issue to UN. It was we who have never started a war. War was started by Pakistan every time. 65 war ended and we gave the territory back. 71 war, we gave the 90,000 soldiers back, around 1/3 of the army of Pakistan, and we gave near about the whole of POK back. India only acquired weapon technology in its first test, and India decided to weaponize its weapon technology because of the pressure from Pakistan, because Pakistan wanted to acquire nuclear weapon post 90. So India has always committed for what? Peace in the region. Okay. Okay, and this is what all I want to tell you for your interview, and I hope this discussion would have given you a bit of clarity in which direction you need to prepare. And if you have to prepare questions for your optional, you should prepare basics of the subject of your graduation. In whichever stream you have done your graduation, do not ignore that too. You never know what board will ask. I'm telling you, not answering will not cut down your mark. But if you will give answer, it will give a good impression. Okay? They are more interested to know what kind of personality you are. Okay? And still, if anything comes to your mind in future also, you are free to contact me. Just ping me on WhatsApp. I'll give you that time. And if you are in RAU'S, if you are in Delhi, and if you come to RAU'S, you are free to meet me. Okay? And still, now, if you have any question further, you can ask.
So your contact number.
I'll give. Okay, I'll ask. I'll tell you a few questions on which you need to work. Think on these lines also. What do you think is the if they'll ask, what do you think is one of the what do you think is the best feature of Indian Constitution? And what do you think is the biggest limitation of our Constitution? Think. नहीं पता चलेगा मैं हूं. ठीक है? What do you think is the best feature? What do you think is the biggest limitation? Then, right now, do think, what are the issues emerging with the parliamentary system in India? Issues emerging with the parliamentary system in India. How you see the judiciary of India is behaving? Is it activism? It is overreach? It is excessivism. Or judicial surrender? क्या लग रहा है आपको? जुडिशरी ने सरेंडर कर दिया है एग्जीक्यूटिव के सामने? ये जुडिशियल एक्टिविज्म है या ओवररीच है या एक्सेसिविज्म or judicial surrender? Because many are seeing the way judiciary has given its verdict on 370, it's a kind of judicial surrender. Okay. Then how relevant the role of caste is in Indian politics? Then what are the conflicts emerging in Indian federalism? Work on these questions. My contact number is 9988 again 88 4432. Done. Any specific question regarding PSIR? Yes, Deepen.
Sir, we should be preparing all the ongoing issues regarding Governor, Election Commission of India, the recent Naya Samhita bill and all.
Comment, prepare. Comment. How you see? What you see? Better or not? Okay. Not the technical aspects. The comment. How you see? Opinion build karo. Okay. In general, opinion
Okay, sir.
not should be too critical. And it's not like that they were going to ask you ask everything on these issues, because it will be around 25 to 30 minutes and they are more interested to know what kind of personality you are, as I said. And if you will keep this quadrant approach in your mind, ये मुझे नहीं पता था मेरे when I was going for my interview, somehow this was told to me by one of the board member of UPSC. Okay, so then I realized how wrong answers could I have given in front of the board member if they are analyzing this among the aspirants. So in general नहीं पता होता लोगों को कि वो analyze क्या कर रहे हैं. Prepare तब करोगे ना जब पता होगा कि वो check क्या कर रहे हैं. Which I always say, when one of the misnomer in UPSC preparation is what? You need to write excellent answers. Now, is anyone can tell what is excellent answer? तो पहले excellent answer पता होगा, धीरे धीरे हम समझे. Okay, this is the answer which we can say is a good answer, above average or excellent, covering all the aspects and the dimensions. Similarly, you first need to be well aware of what board is looking into you. Are they interested in your answers? Of that, whether you know the factual aspect of this question or not. No, in general, how aware you are, what kind of opinions you have, and your personality aspect, whether you are an optimist, whether you are a person with optimism or pessimism. So in 30 minutes, nowhere you should reflect your pessimism. You should reflect that you are a pragmatic individual who holds a lot of optimism. बस यही है इंटरव्यू, यही याद रखना है इंटरव्यू में, और कुछ भी नहीं है इंटरव्यू में. ठीक है, और कोई क्वेश्चन? सो ऐसा नहीं है ना कि आपने अब क्या कहा कि मुझे प्लेटो पसंद है और पता ही नहीं क्यों पसंद है, उसकी प्रेजेंट रेलेवेंस ही नहीं आपको पता. सो आपने बस प्लेटो रटा है. यू हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड द मैसेज ऑफ प्लेटो. You have not able to, after studying the whole optional, you do not know which two things which you have learned from PSIR आपको पता ही नहीं है. This articulation will reflect how sorted individual you are, that you have a clarity of thought. You have not wasted your 4 years of your life. Whatever you did in your graduation, you still remember those concepts. So once you learn, you remember that. ये सिर्फ यही एस्पेक्ट और कुछ भी नहीं है. Any other question you have? Shakti?
No, sir.
No, Shakti, I was just, so I hope now you are clear with how you need to prepare PSIR paper 1, part A.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In fact, the questions which I have given to you, you do not need to prepare more than this. I can assure you. There can't be any question beyond this scope, beyond the scope of our discussion. They will not going to ask you, I hope, from PSIR more than what we have discussed in the class. इस तरह PSIR में वो कुछ नहीं पूछ सकते आपसे.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
ठीक है,
Thank you,
चलो.
sir.
Okay then. अच्छा, एक चीज और, 3 challenges and 3 objectives of India's foreign policy. It should be on your tips. What are the 3 main challenges right now we have? What are the 3 important objectives of India's foreign policy? What we are looking forward to achieve? And the 3 important objectives right now we have to achieve are: first, UNSC permanent membership; second, aspiration of $5 trillion economy. And third, to become a net security provider. Day before yesterday, this word again being used by Rajnath Singh after attack, a drone attack on that ship. India is aspiring to become a net security provider in Asia Pacific region. Okay? So these are the three main objectives. 3 challenges, 2-front war, countering China's hegemony and terrorism. These are the 3 main challenges. 2-front war, China's hegemony and countering terrorism or Islamic fundamentalism. So when you guys have your interview? In January?
Sir, mine is on 9th of February.
Feb. Soumya, yours?
Not
Mine
in
is 9th Feb.
Not yet. Okay. Anyone who, out of you 4, who is having interview in January? Anyone who is having in January? Not yet. Okay. So you have ample of time. So for all of you, this will be your first interview.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy
Yes, sir.
do not be too tense in front of the board. Do enjoy the movement. Last
Yes.
thing which I want to say you is enjoy the movement. Okay, relish that you have reached to that stage which when you started, we all do dream of facing the interview board. This gives completion to our preparation. Preparing for many years, not writing mains will not take us anywhere. But once you interview, you feel that you have achieved something. And more will be the setback after giving interview if you will not be selected. Everything comes with its cons, but do enjoy the moment and relish that, and do not be too judgmental sitting in front of the board. यार ये कैसे देख रहे हैं, ये मेरे questions impress नहीं हो रहे, ऐसा कुछ नहीं सोचना. Be neutral, be positive, be confident. Best of luck. Okay. And anywhere in the next few months you feel doubt on anything, any question, you can reach to me. Okay. Bye. Take care. Best of luck.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye. Take
Thank
care.
you, sir. Thank you.